So today I want to talk about hope, and it's an Easter message, and also a little bit of sharing of my testimony from my time in Korea. Thank you, by the way, for everybody who, made it possible for me to go. I had a wonderful experience, much more wonderful than I expected, and a lot of people pitched in to help to do things while I was gone, helping with my dad, helping drive the kids back and forth to school, and people chipping in to make everything happen on the Holy Day celebration and lunch and stuff, so I really appreciate it. So I want to start off with an excerpt from the Divine Principle from this time when Jesus is preparing to go to the cross. So Jesus said to his disciples, "You will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. And truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." Based on these sayings, the disciples and many Christians since have believed that Jesus would return during their lifetime. Is there a little bit of feedback? Is it okay? Okay. So there's a lot of different ideas behind why Jesus said these things. Because obviously he didn't come back during his disciples' lifetime. And some people are saying, it's the resurrected Jesus, it's a transfiguration, some figurative thing. Some people say, well, he's just giving hope to the disciples. Because if he were to say to the disciples, I might come back in 1,000 years or 2,000 years, they may not be that motivated. I don't know. So I'm not going to interpolate exactly what the meaning of it was. But regardless, the result was that he gave hope to his disciples during a time that seemed kind of hopeless. And it gave them hope and generations of Christianity for many, many years to come, hope in the awaiting of Jesus' return, hopefully in their lifetime. And even today, that's a lot of people are hoping that Jesus will come back in their lifetime, expecting it. It's interesting, a few years ago I saw an article from the Pope, about the Pope. And it was really funny. The Pope was like, I'm paraphrasing. He said, it's been 2,000 years, and if Jesus hasn't come back yet, he's probably not going to. I was like, that's interesting, That's like representing like over 1 billion Catholics, right? I don't know how other people felt about it, but I was like, that's a little bit like disheartening, right? Because that's what people are waiting for. So I think that regardless of what Jesus' meaning here was in these verses, I think that we underestimate the importance of hope. And even Jesus' life and his crucifixion gives people hope today. It gives us hope that even my small life, in my narrow way of thinking, and my mistakes has meaning. Because if I call on Jesus, then I can inherit his sacrifice. I can inherit his foundation. Some of what Jesus sacrificed for becomes a part of me in my life. And so thousands of years of Christians have been able to experience that. It's given humanity hope. Jesus' one life was able to give hope to so many people. And sometimes we take that for granted, I think. Not just Jesus' sacrifice, but just hope in general. It's one of those things, if you have it, easy to take for granted, and if you don't have it, it's like, oh, how can I get some more of that? There's a couple verses here from Romans that I wanted to share. Yeah, I think this thing's almost out of batteries. For in this hope we are saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope, for who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Hope is, the way I see it, kind of a dividing line in our life. It's a very fundamental thing. If we have hope that the future can be better because of my efforts, that my life can be better, that my children can have a better life than I had, that my life makes a difference, that has meaning, or that the world can become better, then it gives us strength to deal with the adversities, the trials, the obstacles that we experience in our life. If we have these things, it gives us strength. It gives us strength to try again, to stand up again when we feel we've been put down. We feel we've been set back. We feel like all the effort that we put in didn't come to the result that we wanted. Or to try something different, because we see that there is hope at the end of the road. This is from our founder, Reverend Moon. He said, "A wise person will place hope in the future and continue to move forward no matter how difficult it may be. A foolish person, on the other hand, will throw away his future for the sake of immediate happiness. Those who are hopeful are always constructive." So I think that there is hard to think of a greater difference that we could experience in our life. If you've ever felt in your life hopeful about the future, hopeful about your life, versus maybe a time in your life where you felt hopeless. Like when you don't have hope, when you feel hopeless, it doesn't really seem to matter about anything, right? It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you don't do, it doesn't matter what's happening in the world, because it doesn't make a difference. That's what we feel when we feel hopeless. That's a really awful place to be. I think there's probably not anyone in this room who hasn't felt that at some point in their life. So here's another quote I want to share. God is calling us to a hopeful future. Those who receive that call follow the path of destiny, not the path of fortune. The path of fortune can change, but the path of destiny cannot. Can you change who your father is or who your siblings are? No, you cannot. They are a part of your destiny. God desires to reach and settle in the place that heavenly fortune has determined. History has been developing, centered on the path to that place. The starting point of this secure settlement is the true parents. God has already determined our destiny, which is to become true children with the true parents at the center. That destiny cannot be changed. And this is one more verse from Isaiah. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. So, it's important, I think, to take a step back sometimes. And I think Easter is a really good day to do that. I believe Easter is all about hope. Easter is about many things, and people have been giving an Easter message every year for the last however many years it's been. But there's many things to talk about when it comes to Jesus' death and his resurrection. I think one of the things that I take away today is a message of hope. Hope that even if things look really hopeless, there's always hope. There's always hope to be found. And we need hope in our life. I felt that very strongly this week. When I went to Korea, so I'm going to switch a little bit now. This is a little bit of my testimony from being in Korea. As many of you know, I went to Korea last week along with about 20 people from the community here to participate in the opening ceremony for the a new building, new palace. We call it Chunwon-gung in Korea. And then there was a blessing ceremony where we had 5,000 couples participating in Korea and then all around the world. I think about 1,500 couples in Korea. And I have not been to Korea in over 11 years. And I was a little bit unsure about what my experience was going to be there. So what I always tend to do when I go into an unknown situation is I set my expectations low, so that I won't, I don't want to be disappointed, but any upside is more than welcome, So maybe not the best attitude, I grant that, but that was kind of my feeling. And the thing that I came away with the most from that experience, if I had to sum up my experience in one word, would be hope. I felt really hopeful. I would say I felt more hopeful than I have in a really, really long time. I can't speak for everybody else that went. I don't know what their experience was. I know many people had good experiences. But I know there had been a lot of changes. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about them. I went to Korea many years ago, did 40-day workshops there. We have a spiritual retreat there, for lack of a better word. And I've had many deep experiences there, many tearful prayers. Sorry. I knew that wasn't right. Tearful prayers, yes. And but when I got there and I was walking around the workshop site and everything, I just felt like I wanted to cry. And I didn't really know what it was, but I think that there was just something about the environment or the spirit there that just felt so, it made me feel at peace. It made me feel like I was being welcomed home. I don't know how to explain it. And so I spent some time in the prayer hall, and that was really beautiful. And, the church has been fundraising for a while to try to raise money for this new building. And I know a lot of people, some people are like, yeah, this is great, and some people are like, why do we need to raise money for a building, But I tell you, when I got there, all the doubts and skepticism just disappeared. Once I actually experienced it, I could see why it was valuable to have. It was really an awe-inspiring building. Beautiful, so beautiful. You can't really get the sense of it by looking at pictures, although I think I have a few. Oh yeah, so I know some of you have never been to our site in Korea, but this is a picture from up on a hill. It's just a really beautiful, beautiful place to go. There was a marina now with a boat, and you can take a ride and go all around the lake. And this is a picture from the boat. And here's a picture looking up on the mountain, and you can see the new building is right there on the right. And then the original palace and seminary and school, I think, are there on the left. This is a more close-up picture. On the one hand, it's a building. Like, it's just a building. But on the other hand, I was just blown away. I was amazed by the beauty of it and the scale of it and what's possible inside. And I don't know, a little bit it's not practical. It was just a feeling I got when I went there. It was just overwhelming. There's a number of other things there at Cheongpyeong that are new also. There's a place called the Aqua Garden Cafe. And I first heard about it a few years ago. I was like, oh, it's a cafe with fish. That's cute, you know? Not a big deal. But actually, when you go there, you realize, oh, it's art. It's an opportunity to go and enjoy time with family and friends, or with yourself or with God, in front of a beautiful creation. And there's sculptors that came and they designed the aquariums, and they're beautiful. There's fog and there's trees coming out all over you. And I had to go back. I had to keep going back because it was like so enjoyable to spend time there. And then there's an aviary, and there's a plant exhibit, and there's a petting zoo, and there's so many things for families to do. And then the couples also, after the blessing, many couples, we had 1,500 couples that were there, right? So they all ran in there and they took pictures together with the beautiful flowers and everything. And I saw some old friends there, very international group, couple people from the US, a friend from France, a friend from Hong Kong. And, we could spend time sharing together. And some of you know the Loves. Andrew Love and his family were there. And we spent a lot of time together because somehow our hotel rooms we were right next to each other. And they're excited. Yeah, somehow. They were very excited to be moving back in September. So we're excited to see them. And their kids are so excited to come back. And they've been all over the place. They've been living in Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, Korea, Mongolia. I mean, they're really world travelers. And this is an old friend of mine from way back. And she has like 4 kids, but she had a brain tumor recently. And it was very serious. And it was really unsure about whether she was going to make it. And I hadn't heard anything recently, so I assumed that she was still in rehab. And then I met her in Korea. She's doing great. Crescentia, for those of you who know her. Her hair color changed with the cancer and everything. Yeah, so that was really, that was a surprise. It was just another one of those things that just gave me a lot of hope. So I'm still kind of processing my experience. I don't really know what to say. And I know that most of you didn't have the opportunity to go. But I made a decision while I was there. I said, I want to bring my family next year. I feel really sad that I came by myself, and I'm enjoying the Aqua Garden Cafe by myself, and the petting zoo by myself. And what was it? There's a regular petting zoo with these like cool shaved llamas, and then there's another one that you can feed like it's an indoor one that has a lot of aquatic life, and they've got capybaras and stuff. And I sent videos home, but it was still sad. I was like, I'm enjoying this all by myself. It's really sad. So next year, especially if they have some kind of pilgrimage like they did this year, where I don't have to deal with lodging and food and transportation, then our plan is to go as a whole family. And I think if possible, if you went, you would be surprised, pleasantly surprised by your experience. Everything was just very moving for me. I've always been a very local person. When we first moved here 10 years ago, our feeling was that we wanted to help to transform our church movement from the bottom up, from the inside out. And we just, I know this is being recorded and all, but I didn't feel a lot of confidence in the direction that our larger organization of our church was going. Not that I didn't want to, but that's just where we were at that time. And I thought, well, we can try our best to change things from within. But this experience gave me hope that we didn't have to do all of that ourselves, that things are going to change from within and from above. It gave me hope in the future of our movement. It gave me hope that God is working and alive and well in the church. And that's really what you want, right? That's what you want. That's so important. And I haven't felt this moved at a church event in as long as I can remember. So it also gave me more determination to do the things that we have in mind to do in the future. You know, many of you know I've talked over the years about building a museum, to building a more legit, I don't know, maybe legit's not the best word, but public-facing cafe that everyone can enjoy, to make a family center, to make an education center. Because I think that all those things are important to have locally. And I found all those things in Cheonggyeong, in Korea. I was like, but we can't always go to Korea to experience those things, and we can't expect everyone to go there. We should have some of those things at least locally. It's always been my hope, but now I just feel more strongly that I want to do it. I don't want to change anything we're doing. I just want to do more of it. And I got to figure out how that's going to work. And it also made me think about that church we were looking at, the building we were looking at. I was like, oh, I want that church even more now. How can I come up with $2 million? I have a plan, but you're going to have to pray for us, because I don't know if that plan's going to pan out. But if that one doesn't, maybe there's another one that we can work through. So I want to finish by sharing a video. It's a short clip from the live stream from Korea. It's a music, what do you call it? Performance, yeah. And I just was really touched by the song, and maybe it was just the moment, but I hope it means something to you as well. Let me start it over here. All right, here we go. for a prayer. Dearest Heavenly Parent, thank you for this day. We're so grateful for the things that we have in our life, Heavenly Parent, and most of all, so grateful for hope, Heavenly Parent, because you sent your Son, and you sent our true parents to us, Heavenly Parent, to give your children hope, Heavenly Parent, in the times where we struggle and are challenged in our lives and we feel like we just can't go forward just on our own strength, Heavenly Parent. You are always there to encourage us and to push us forward in our lives, Heavenly Parent, to help us to find the way forward, to help us to find the door that is open for us in our lives, Heavenly Parent. We thank you so much, Heavenly Parent, for these people who sacrificed their lives and their comfort and their things that they could have had, Heavenly Parent, if they chose to live a more comfortable and an easier life. But they chose to sacrifice so that we could live a better life, Heavenly Parent. And I just pray that we can never take that for granted, always express our gratitude, Heavenly Parent, and seek for how we can live a life that is truly becoming of that. I thank you and offer this prayer on behalf of all of our blessed families here. Amen and adieu. Thank you.